Keith, like, do you guys have a first responder background at all? Did you have it in your family or anything like that?
No, my dad was a football coach. My sister's a teacher and a field hockey coach. So, we're not, we don't know how to use tools, screwdrivers, change tires. It's basically coach and now act and coach. So I had none of it. Obviously, we were taught to treat people the way you want to be treated, and obviously, saw what these guys did on the, on the hoof, but never had any idea what they're going through really till I saw what Keith was going through. And that's when I reached out to Corey, obviously with his background, and that's how we sort of stumbled into this.
Okay. Corey?
Yeah. For me, the connection came through the mental health side. I feel like it started to become kind of a buzzword here in Hollywood, 5 or 6 years ago. And I always appreciated it. I've always been a sensitive guy. And so I connected with that. But I think mental health became really real for me a few years ago. I had a close family member who had a breakdown while I was there, and it impacted me massively. And then shortly after that, I had an anxiety attack for the first time, and I ended up in therapy for the first time in my life. And so those things were all very, top of mind for me. And I didn't go out necessarily seeking a project in this space, but when Scott came to me and kind of introduced me to Keith, it just all clicked. Like, I think this is the right timing and the right topic for me right now. I have very, very little, if no, connection to first responders, and I'll be honest with you, a couple of days before we left to go out to New England to film this, I started getting an incredible amount of anxiety because of that. And almost like I'm not worthy to be the one to tell their stories. And I credit my wife because I think at one point I even said, I don't know if I can do this. And my wife talked me into it. And obviously I'm so happy I did. And, in a strange way, I think the fact that I don't helped, and that, I could sit across from these guys and be the audience who doesn't necessarily understand everything, and really start with some simple questions to start to really understand their stories. And I don't think you need to be in the first responder community to understand the shit that our first responders, our country's heroes, go through on a daily basis, and how much they have to then process in their lives and all of that. So I think in the end it probably helped, but at the time it was definitely a little nerve-wracking for me.